Hello, it's Dr. DB again, and I'm here to tell you about the scientific method. And so you may be asking certain questions. Who uses it? What is it? Why should I care? And you should very much care. The scientific method is something very, very important. Myself as a scientist, I use it to come up with logical conclusions to problems that I may have or questions I may have. And so you can think like a scientist as well. It can help you investigate a question or a problem and break it down in a way that makes sense. And so everyone uses it every day. Yes, even you. And so the scientific method can help you answer questions of varying sizes, big or small. And so as you look at this list here, some of these questions may be familiar to you. Where are my shoes? What should I have for lunch? What class do I have next? Did I do my homework for that class? What is the cure for cancer? If you're thinking really big. And which deodorant works the longest? These just may be some questions that you may have. And guess what? You can actually begin to use the scientific method to answer some of these questions. So there are 6 basic steps to the scientific method. There is the identification of the problem, asking that question. Then you have to research your topic to come up with the information to help you come up with or develop a hypothesis or an educated guess or tentative explanation as to why something is the way it is. And this is the foundation for your experiment to test your hypothesis. And then during that experiment, you will come up with various pieces of data that you would analyze, and these observations can then provide evidence for your conclusions. And so these are the basic 6 steps for the scientific method that you should be utilizing. During the school year, you may be asked to do a science fair experiment. You would need to use the scientific method to conduct this experiment. And then hopefully this gives you a head start to understanding what those steps are. It's very important that those 6 steps that I just showed you, that you do those steps in order. It's very important that you follow the order to those steps in answering your question. So when thinking about the scientific method, that step 1 that I introduced you to is the problem, or you identifying the question that you're trying to answer. Try to narrow it down a little bit because that will better help you research your topic and then devise or state your hypothesis. So looking here, what question could these children be investigating? What are they predicting? What happened? Take a look at this picture and think about it. Because you're looking at it, everyone's looking at it with their own eye, you may come up with your own question that you may want to ask or investigate. Next, as I indicated, you want to make sure that you're gathering information to help you develop a hypothesis. You might use books, magazines, reports, experts, your past experiences. And this helps you come up with a valid hypothesis. And this hypothesis, as I said, is like an educated guess. It's a prediction based on data, based on that research that you've accumulated. What do you think the answer is based upon your gathered information? And then this now lays the foundation for your experiment. And there are 2 parts to your experiment. There's materials and procedures. Your materials are a list of equipment that you will need for the experiment, and the procedures are a list of instructions that you need to follow for this experiment. And if you do these 2 things, you'll hopefully have a very good experiment that you'll carry out that would then allow you to generate observations and results. And this is the collected information and data from the experiment that may consist of charts, graphs, or written work. So this is what actually happened. And so as you're gathering this data, which details what happens, you should formulate this into a conclusion. And a conclusion is then an answer to that question, or a description as to what you believe the answer to that question is. And guess what? It's okay if your evidence doesn't support your hypothesis or if it's not correct. At the end of the day, you still learned something. So whatever you learn, it's important that you report your findings, whether it be through a report, a presentation, word of mouth. You should be excited about the things that you conclude and that you are learning through the scientific method. You will help others learn by reporting the information that you find out. And so lastly, what I want to emphasize with the scientific method, with carrying out experimentation, you always want to repeat. You want to make sure that you're repeating so that you get the same findings and results each time. Because if you're not getting something similar, that means something may be off. This allows you to verify. So we're at the end of our scientific method journey. You now hopefully understand what the scientific method is. So what I would like for you to do next is to go to the Wonder Lab, and you'll actually be able to, if you click on that tab, see a short experiment conducted by myself, Dr. DB, and some special helpers. And we're utilizing the scientific method to come up with a solution to a problem. So I hope you enjoyed this overview of the scientific method. Have a great day.